I'm just going to do a quick review, and then we'll find ourselves out in the stars. So, if you have a seat and strap yourself in, get your helmet on, we'll launch the HMS CL Fellowship. I like that line, seated in majesty. It made me think HMS, His Majesty's ship. The HMS CLF Fellowship is about to launch. We'll kick it into light speed shortly. So last week we started about in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. And we dated the heavens back to 13.2 billion years ago, and the earth being about 4.5 billion years old. We talked about God setting the firmament in the heavens, that is the visible arch. And He placed the stars in place. And He set them, verse 17 of Genesis 1 says, and He set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. He set them, just like He set you. But now hath God set the members, each one of them, in the body, even as it pleases Him. So you are here under the pleasure of His majesty. We talked about Psalm 19 being one of the peer scriptures talking about the stars. And in that psalm, he talks about two things, the stars and their message, and the Word of God and its message, each being perfect. He said, the heavens declare the glory of God, the firmament showeth forth His handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. But yet there is no speech or language, and their voice is not heard. But yet their line goes out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world, and in them hath He set the tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run his course. He is going forth from the end of the heavens, and His circuit means something that goes around and connects again. A circuit is unto the end thereof, and nothing is hid from the heat thereof. We learned in Psalm 147 that He numbered the stars, He counted the stars, and He named the stars. And with a name comes a personality type, a character. Old Testament names weren't given until the baby had some form of expression with which to call their name. Every star in the heavens has a name and a story. And that part of the grand revelation to all His creation. There's 48 groupings of constellations. Each of these groupings with their names reveal the story that we're about to see. The historian Josephus told us that somewhere around 3300 BC, that revelation came to Adam, Seth, and Enoch. Adam being about 704 years old at that point. Fortunate enough to see his seventh generation. The written word was non-existent for the first 2,500 years of the history of man as God placed them. And the basic of this study is the Mazzaroth. Mazaroth, the Lord asked Job in Job 38:32, can you bring the Mazaroth forth in his season? So I'm going to show you who that is and let you know that that season has surely come. Some of the things that we had mentioned just in passing, if you were to be fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to be on the equator of the earth, remember the Titanic? And the girl up on the bow of the ship like this. If you were on the equator facing east, you could stand like this and imagine yourself traveling at 1,000 miles an hour, because that's how fast the earth is moving. It goes around the sun, our year, 67,000 miles per hour. It goes around the galaxy. We're in the spiral arm, the end of a spiral arm in the galaxy. And it goes around the galaxy at 490,000 miles an hour. How vast is space that we just can't even fathom that motion and that distance, and nothing seems to change. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. And in the midst of the stars that we see is this beltway called the zodiac, in which the 12 constellations have their position. And that is where the logos of the cosmos is written. The prophecy, the stars, prophecy was to Israel. What Israel would experience. Israel prophesies to the New Testament. Remember what Kelly used to teach? The Old Testament is really the New Testament concealed, and the New Testament is the Old Testament revealed. So we can't really separate them. They are one. And the New Testament prophesies to us, the saints. So, let me see. I'm going to have you come up again, but this time I'm going to start with my cardinal points, if you don't mind. So those that are Arians, March 21 to April 19th, could I have you come and stand right here? Okay. And those that are Libra, September 23, October 22, to stand here. Okay. Now, Ron, if you would just stand right here, kind of in between these gals, and you kind of tuck in a little bit behind Ronnie. You're going to be reading that, okay? And you will be holding that. The symbol on the back is the symbol for Aries, and it's going to tell me where I am with you. So when I look around, I don't go, oh God, who's who? Okay. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th, if you would come up to here. Who am I looking for? Libras. There's Libra. I hadn't planned on doing it this way, so that's why I'm a little scattered here. But I came across another concept. Cancer, June 21 to July 22, right down here on the floor in between the stairs. If you guys kind of group in a little bit more together. Catherine, if you will read that when I tell you, and if you just hold that up so I know where you are. Krabby? Krabby Patties, my favorite. Okay, Capricorn. I know somebody out there is a SpongeBob fan. Somebody beside me. Capricorn. Okay, if you, at the appropriate time, read that, and if you just hold that, turn it around, and you guys bunch in a little bit closer to each other. That's it. My Cancerians. There we go. Be patient with me. God didn't do this in a day. All right. Now, I will have you read that, and you just hold that for me. This is just to tell me where we are when I look around, and tell you who you associate with in the tribes. So now, let's see, who am I ready for? I've got, how about Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd. Okay. Jeremy, come on up front here. I'm going to have you read that when you're ready. You need to bunch in. John, if you just hold that so I know where you are. Instead of in a line, kind of gather around. You come on in front. You were good where you were. Just condense a little, because I'm going to have more people up here. Okay, Virgo. There's my August 23, September 22. Three, four, whatever. You will all be involved at one point or another. Virgo and Virgo. All right. Now, my dear, if you hold that, okay. And my dear, if you hold that, bunch together. Okay, now, Scorpio, October 23, November 21. And the Sagittarians can come up, November 22, December 21. We have more Scorpios. Right here. Scorpio there, Sagittarius there. You will be reading that. Who's my other Scorpio? You? Okay, then just hold that card. That's a placement, so I know. Okay, now let's see. Sagittarius, I've got behind me now, right? Now you say, what is this madman doing? Sagittarius. Okay. You will be reading that when I come around. Saggy? Okay. You just hold on to that. Saggy. Aquarius over here. January 20, February 10. We have no Aquarians?
February 10. You said February 10.
I'm sorry.
That would mean I missed my birthday.
February 19th. I'm sorry. January 20, February 19th. Aquarians. Is this a solo act for you?
No, there was actually a couple of people up
Yeah.
there.
All right. Well, you hold that. And if somebody comes up afterwards, give that to them.
Okay.
And because I'm looking for that to tell me where I am in the circle. Okay? Okay. Piscean. Who's Pisces? And the Virgos can come up. August 23rd, September 22nd. There he is. If you read that, and if you just hold that like such, and push over a little bit there. Oh, I'm getting so confused. I'm sorry. Aquarius, Pisces. Aries, Taurus will be down there. Okay. Taurians? Taurians. You will be reading that at said time. And you're going to be holding two cards, but all I need is this one facing me. Okay? Gemini, the Geminians. May 21 to June 20. Okay, if you would be able to read that. You want to hold that card? Okay, sure. Come on in together, you guys. So, I think I have everybody. Is there somebody I did not call out? We have Arians, we have Taurians, we have Geminians, we have Cancerians, we have Leonians, we have Virgoans, Librans, Scorpios, Sagittarians, Capricorns, Aquarians, Pisces. Pisces? Right there. Okay, good. Okay, so, Bud, you're insane. It's all right. You are in representation form the stars in the heavens. You know that you're a son, right? You know that you're a son, and you know that you've been placed by God in these places. All right. Okay, the story will begin this is what's going to happen. You have these cards that you're going to read, the typewritten ones. They give the name of the constellation, i.e. Virgo, and the grouping of the constellations around them that portray that particular story. I will have you read that so we can identify and keep your ear open for things. Then I will give you the Old Testament prophetic words to Israel. The prophecy came from the stars with Adam, Seth, Enoch, passed down to when Israel was formed, and the prophetic word came through the prophets to prophesy to Israel. All right? Here we go. Virgo. Now, understand that the constellation Virgo has 110 stars in it. So we're not just looking at a star or a couple. You look at the heavens at nighttime, and it's countless numbers. You will be as the stars of the heavens and the sands of the sea. So, Sandra, if you would just read what you have there.
The Redeemer's first coming. We are Virgo. Our constellation or formation is that of the Virgin. We depict a woman bearing a branch in her right hand and an ear of corn in her left hand. Our supporting constellations are named Coma, Centaurus, and Boots.
Yep.
These names mean the desired of all nations, the despised of sin offering, and he cometh. Virgo speaks of the prophecy of the promised seed of the woman.
Okay. So we have a woman bearing a branch. Obviously, the woman is the virgin, and the branch is the promise. And an ear of corn, lest a kernel of corn fall in the ground, it abideth alone. Isaiah 7, therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive, and bear a son, and she shall call his name Emmanuel. Jeremiah 23, behold, the day cometh, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. Haggai 2, and I will shake all nations, and the desired of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord. Psalms 96, before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness, and the people with his truth. Zechariah 6, and speak unto him, saying, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of the Lord. The story of Virgo. Now the story of Libra.
We are Libra. Our constellation is that of the scales, which portrays the price deficient balanced by the price which covers. Our supporting constellations are named Crux, Lupus, and Corona. These names mean the cross endured, the victim slain, and the crown bestowed. Libra speaks of the Redeemer's atoning work.
Okay. Crux, the cross. Lupus, the victim slain, and Corona, the crown bestowed. Libra is the balance, the scales. Man has been found, weighed in the balance, and found wanting. Hebrews 2, but we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels, for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man. John 10, as the Father knoweth me, even so I, the Father, I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Libra again speaks of the Redeemer's atoning work. Now, Scorpio.
We are Scorpio. Our constellation is that of the scorpion. The scorpion seeks to wound, but itself is trodden underfoot. Our sister constellations are serpents. The serpent struggling with the man. Ophiuchus, the man grasping the serpents, speaking of the struggle with the enemy. Hercules, the mighty man, on one knee, holding aloft the token of his victory, and his foot on the head of the dragon. Scorpio speaks of the Redeemer's conflict.
So Scorpio. Hercules, Scorpio, and Leo are the most recognized in dramatic constellations in the evening sky. Orion, you will see if you go out tonight at 8 o'clock in the clear sky. You'll see his 3 stars in his belt and the stars in the tip of his sword sheath. And he's holding up in one hand his captor, his victim. And he's got his head on the serpent. Leo he looks like the Sphinx turned sideways. It's the head of the lion and the body. It's huge, 30 degrees of the sky. It's huge. And Scorpio goes 1, 2, 3 stars, the head and the 2 claws, and it comes down and makes a curl like this, the scorpion's tail. And it's really, and oh my God, look at that kind of a constellation. Scorpio, speaking of the serpent's struggle with man, shows the man grasping the serpent, and Hercules, the mighty man, on one knee, holding aloft the token of his victory, and his foot on the dragon. Scorpio portrays the attack of the enemy. You know the enemy has come to attack you. Serpents is the name of the constellation encompassing. The serpent is huge. It travels probably 60 to 70 degrees over the heavens. I mean, it's a big serpent. And Ophiuchus, the serpent being held and bruised. Hercules, the strong one. The Scorpio is a deadly enemy with poison in its sting. Hard after the woman's seed. Ophiuchus has 2 hands on the serpent and 1 foot on the scorpion. Sagittarius.
We are Sagittarius, the archer, the 2-natured conqueror going forth, conquering and to conquer. Our sister constellations are Lyra, the harp, telling of praise and prepared for the conqueror. Hera, the altar, showing the fire prepared for his enemies. And Draco, the dragon, that old serpent, the devil, cast down from heaven. Sagittarius speaks of the Redeemer's triumph.
Okay. The archer, half horse, half man, with his bow drawn. 2 natures, the horse and the man, showing the 2 natures of God or of Jesus. Fully man, fully God. The supporting constellation Lyra is the harp, and the harp portrays the praise that waiteth for thee in Zion. Ara is the altar, showing the fire that's prepared for his enemy. And Draco the dragon, which is that old serpent, the devil. Revelation 6, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Psalms 45, and in thy majesty ride prosperously, because of truth and meekness and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemy, whereby the people fall under thee. Psalm 65. Praise waiteth for thee, O God, in Zion, and unto thee shall the vow be performed. Isaiah 4. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Revelation 12. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So in the first 4 constellations, it speaks of the first coming of the Messiah, starting with the virgin, the price paid, the serpent and the dragon, the arrow from the archer, the harp of praise, the burning altar, and the devil cast down. Then we move to the second part of this trilogy. It's the redeemed, the result of the Redeemer's suffering. And we go with Capricorn.
The redeemed, the result of the Redeemer's suffering. We are Capricornus, the fish goat, showing the goat of atonement slain for the redeemed. Our supporting constellations are Sagitta, the arrow of God sent forth, Aquila, the eagle, showing the smitten one falling, and Delphinus, the dolphin, showing the dead one rising again. Capricorn speaks of the redeemed blessing procured.
Okay. So Capricorn, the sea goat, the fish goat, the sea goat, half the tail of a fish and the front paws of a goat. A goat is a sacrificial animal, and it's being sacrificed for Israel. Fish speak of Israel. Pisces speak of Israel. The miracle of fishes and loaves were the prophetic story of the bread broken for the people of Israel. Psalm 38:2. For thine arrows stick fast in me, and thy hand presseth me sore. Isaiah 53. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrow. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shearer is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. Romans 4. But for us also, to whom it shall be imputed, if we believe on him that raised up Jesus our Lord from the dead, who was delivered for our offenses and was raised again for our justification. Romans 14. For to this end Christ both died and rose and revived, that he might be the Lord both of the dead and the living. Aquarius.
Today I'm the voice of many waters.
Yes, you are.
By myself.
And believe it or not, water is the symbol.
Yes, it is. We are Aquarius, the water bearer. We speak of the living waters of blessing poured forth for the redeemed. Our connected constellations are Pisces, Australis, the southern fish, showing the blessing bestowed, Pegasus, the winged horse, the blessings quickly coming, and Cygnus, the swan, the blesser surely returned. Aquarius speaks of the redeemed's blessings ensured.
The water bearer, pouring forth the river of life. Numbers 24. As the valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the river's side, as the trees of line aloes which the Lord hath planted, and as cedar trees beside the waters. He shall pour water out of his bucket, and his seed shall be in many waters, and his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. Isaiah 32. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and a prince shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in dry places, as the shadows of a great rock in a weary land. Habakkuk 2. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Pisces.
We are Pisces, the fish, the redeemed, blessed, though bound. Connected constellations are the band, bound, but binding their great enemy, Cetus, the sea monster. Andromeda, the chained woman, speaks of the redeemed in their bondage and affliction. And Cephas, the king, showing their Redeemer coming to rule. Pisces reveals the redeemed blessings in abeyance.
The fish, the band, they're bound together. Andromeda, the chained woman, speaking the redeemed in their bondage and affliction. And Cephas, the king. Pisces, two large fish, bound together by a band at their tails. One facing north, heaven bound, and one facing at a right angle along the ecliptic, the earthly calling. Matthew 14. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took 5 loaves and 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, one fish up, one fish down. And looking up to heaven, he blessed and brake and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did eat and were filled. And they took up of the fragments that remained 12 baskets full. 12. Out of 5 and 2. 12. The perfect number of government. Hosea 11. Yet it is I who taught Ephraim to walk. I took them in my arms, but they did not know that I healed them. I led them with cords of a man, with bonds of love. And I became to them as one who lifts the yoke from their jaws, and I bent down and fed them. Isaiah 54. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not conformed, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. I will make thy windows of agates, and thy gates of carbuncle, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. The King Redeemer, the branch coming for the deliverance of his redeemed. Jeremiah 31. At the same time saith the Lord, I will be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Pisces has always been a symbol of Israel. Aries.
We are Aries, the ram or lamb. We reveal the lamb that was slain, prepared for victory. Connected constellations are Cassiopeia, the enthroned woman, speaking of the captive delivered and preparing for her husband, the Redeemer. Cetus, the sea monster, the great enemy bound, and Perseus, the breaker, delivering his redeemed. Aries reveals the redeemed's blessings consummated and enjoyed.
Aries the ram, sacrificial animal. Yet he was the Arnion lamb, young and strong, with horns, fit for butting. The ram, lamb, full of vigor. In Capricorn, we see the goat dying in sacrifice. Here, we see the lamb living again. John 1. The next day John saw Jesus coming toward him, and he said, "Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." Isaiah 54, "For thy Maker is thy husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy redeemed, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called." Revelation 20, "And the devil that deceiveth them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and all the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever." Side note, the sun enters the constellation of Aries on the 14th day of the Jewish month Nisan. Another lamb was then ordered to be slain, even the Lord's Passover. So the Passover lamb was prophesied in the stars, it was spoken to Israel, and it was performed in type and shadow on the 14th day of the Jewish month Nisan, when the Passover lamb was ordered to be slain and devoured before the Exodus took place. Galatians 4, "But when the fullness of time come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons." So this second grouping of 4 constellations spoke of the Redeemer's suffering, the goat of atonement to redeem Israel, the smitten one falling and resurrection, living water being poured forth, blessings released, but yet bound and afflicted by the great enemy. The Lamb was slain, delivering the captives. Taurus the bull.
The Redeemer, his second coming. We are Taurus the bull. We show forth the Messiah coming to rule. The constellations connected with Taurus are Orion, the mighty hunter, the light breaking forth in the person of the Redeemer. Eridanus, the river of the judge, wrath breaking forth for his enemies. Auriga, the shepherd, providing safety for the redeemed in the day of the wrath. Taurus displays Messiah, the coming judge of all the earth.
Taurus the bull. The charging of the mighty one. Orion the mighty hunter, the light is breaking forth. The river of judgment coming, and the shepherd providing safety. Taurus displays Messiah. It's a bull rushing forth with mighty energy. Isaiah 42:13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemy. Amos 5. Seek him that make the 7 stars of Orion, and turneth the shadow of death into morning, and maketh the day dark with night, that calleth for the waters of the sea, and poureth them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord is his name. Daniel chapter 7. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. Isaiah 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Gemini.
We are Gemini, the twins. We typify the twofold nature of the king. Associated constellations are Lepus, the hare, or the enemy trodden underfoot; Canis Major, the dog, the coming glorious prince of princes; Canis Minor, the second dog, the exalted Redeemer. Gemini speaks of Messiah's reign as Prince of Peace.
Gemini is the twins of the zodiac. It's interesting that Paul journeyed on a ship called the Castor and the Pollux, which were the two names of the major stars in the constellation of Gemini, which speaks of travel. Gemini speaks of the Messiah's reign as Prince of Peace. Exodus 26, and this is taken out of the building of the tabernacles, where the boards of the tabernacle are being put together. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Duality, the twins. Okay, the twofold nature of the king. They shall be coupled beneath, and they shall be coupled above the head unto it into one ring. Thus it shall be for both. They shall be for the two corners. The two natures, twofold nature of the king, fully God and fully man. Isaiah 63, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury. Let me see, that's Lepus, the hare, the enemy trodden underfoot. And trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Isaiah 9, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. That was Canis Major, the glorious Prince of Peace. Isaiah 49, surely thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty man will be taken away, and the prey of the tyrant will be rescued. For I will contend with the one who contends with you, and I will save your sons. I love that. I will trouble them that trouble you. Cancer.
We are Cancer, the crab, the possessions held fast. Our constellations are Ursa Minor, the lesser bear, the lesser sheepfold or little flock, Ursa Major, the great bear, the fold and the flock, and Argo, the ship, the redeemed pilgrims safe at home. Cancer reveals the Messiah's redeemed possessions.
Cancer, the crab, possessions held fast. You know, if you ever grabbed a crab and it got a hold of you, doesn't let go easy. Huh? That's the nature. Ursa Minor speaks of the little sheepfold. Ursa Major, the large flock. And Argo, the ship, the Redeemer's pilgrimage, safe at home. Genesis 49. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. Interesting thought. 1 Chronicle 12, the men of Issachar had understanding of the times. Wonder how they did that. The two sheepfolds, the greater and the lesser, the rest and the security that the flock will find there. The two sheepfolds now are known as the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. And that's our way to finding the North Star. Ezekiel 34. As a shepherd seeks out his flock in the day when he is among his sheep that are scattered, so I will seek out my sheep, and I will deliver them out of all the places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries and bring them into their own land and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all the inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. There shall they lie in a good fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, saith the Lord. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away, and will bind up that which was broken, and will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and the strong. I will feed them with judgment. Jeremiah 31. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles far off, and say, He that scattered Israel will gather him, and keep him, as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand that was stronger than he. Hebrews 11. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Leo, the lion.
We are Leo the lion of the tribe of Judah, aroused for the rending of the enemy. Our story is shown in Hydra, the serpent, that old serpent, the devil, destroyed. Crater, the cup of divine wrath poured out upon him. And Corvus, the crow or raven, birds of prey devouring him. Leo brings the Messiah's consummated triumph.
Leo, the lion of the tribe of Judah, right? Genesis 49. Judah, thou art him whom thy brother shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemy. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stood down. He couched as a lion, as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? Isaiah 13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, he shall roar. He shall prevail against his enemy. For in the hand of the Lord, Psalm 75, there is a cup, and the wine is red. It's full of mixture, and he poured out the same, but the dregs thereof. All the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. Psalms 11. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be their portion of their cup. Revelation 14. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Raven, spoken of the raven, Corvus, is the first bird named in Scripture. It feeds upon the seed. Think about that a minute. Raven. the first bird mentioned in the scripture, feeds upon the seed. You are the seed. That dirty bird wants to come by and kill you, steal you, change your mind. The raven also captures small creatures alive. Ooh. Small creatures. The young and the immature in the spirit. And so this bird was unclean. It was a bird of evil omen. The Redeemer's second coming, which was this last portion, started with the charging bull as light breaking forth, the flooding river of God's judgment, the shepherd coming forth, the enemy trodden underfoot, the Prince of Peace, the safety of the sheepfold, the pilgrims safe at home, the lion aroused, the devil destroyed, the cup of wrath poured on him, the birds of prey devouring the enemy. Now, it's 3 minutes of, I would like to show you the man in the heavens. Can I do that? We have 12 constellations in the zodiac. 12 is the number of perfection of government. There are 12 signs, 12 sons, 12 tribes, 12 apostles, 12 gates, 12 pearls, and time, which is divisible by 12. Seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, and years, all divisible by 12. And also music. Music. How many white keys? 8. How many black keys? 5. How many keys? 12. 12 keys. 12 tones. And that's it. After that, you go up an octave, but it still is 12 tones, a little higher, a little bit lower. Music is perfect. God designed these vibrations. Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah 10 says, "Do not be dismayed at the signs of the heavens." Many people are afraid of what they would learn in the study of the stars. But Jeremiah says, don't be dismayed, for the heathen are dismayed. I started out by saying I want to put my cardinal signs up here. Cardinal. Cardinal. What is cardinal? Up, down, right, left, north, south, east, west, summer, fall, winter, spring. Cardinal is a dynamic sign, a word, a description. There are cardinal signs. There are mutable signs. They're mutable, they're flexible, they're changeable. And there are fixed signs, those that are solid, fixed, stubborn, if I can use that word. Each one of you is either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. And there are 4 elements: fire, earth, air, and water. And so you may be any combination of those. So I'm going to start showing you Mazzaroth. And I'm going to start in Aries, because Aries speaks of the head. Don't ask me how all of this came about, because it's been way back when, at the beginning, that God was able to reveal. Adam, Seth, and Enoch understood when the sun going through the signs. Actually, he was going this way. When the sun was going through the signs, it comes to Aries. These folks were born, they took their first breath in the sign of Aries. Aries, the ram. It speaks of the head. It speaks of a strong self-will. Springtime happens in the sign of Aries. When the sun comes into the sign of Aries, the ground is breaking forth. Plants begin to grow. Flower buds come on the trees. Flowers come up. Colors are intense for the spring flowers. Aries is a cardinal sign and fire element. That means they're active, energetic, enterprising, interested in everything, and adventurous. Sound like you guys?
Passionate. That's the best part about Aries.
Yeah. What's the name on the back of your card? Gad. Okay. I'm going to put all these pieces together later. Taurus, the bull. We come to the neck. The neck and the throat. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Fixed. What had begun in Aries and natural in the spring, the flowers begin. Life comes forth. The time when the sun is in Taurus intensifies that. It holds it and intensifies. During this season of Taurus, April 20 to May 20th, more flowers, more color, intensity of spring breaking forth is really shown forth there. Taurus, the neck and the throat. There are fixed earth. Fixed says you might be a little bit on the stubborn side. But yet you're earthy, and so you can make that practical. Taurus speaks of stability and balance, and the balance of material possessions. They can show a stubborn nature at times, but they're solid, dependable, nurturing, and wise. Now you happen to have two names on your cards.
Yep. Manasseh and Ephraim.
Manasseh and Ephraim. Contradiction. But when Joseph was giving forth the blessing, he said the sons, when Jacob was giving forth the blessing, he said the sons of Joseph, Manasseh and Ephraim, are like the two horns of the bull in the prophetic word before he died. Gemini, the sign of the twins. These are representing the shoulders, the arms, the hands, and the lungs. These are a mutable sign, mutable air. Mutable means they are pliable. In the natural realm of things where the spring breaks forth in Aries and furthered in this time of Taurus, Gemini begins that season of transition where it's mutable. It's beginning to let that go because it has to make way for the next cardinal sign, which is summer. And things change in the summer. Gemini, the twins, shoulders, arms, hands, and lungs, mutable, pliable, air sign, intellectual. Adaptive, communicative, can be indecisive. I heard an amen.
I'm not with them.
Okay, Adaptive, communicative, can be indecisive. Does not know what to do if forced to slow down. Where's my man, Nicky? Yep. Does not know what to do if forced to slow down. These people want to know everybody. They enjoy short journeys. Who's the name on your card? Benjamin. Okay. Cancer, the crab. This is the area of the body of the breast and the stomach. These are cardinal signs, willing to initiate action. They are water element, showing emotion. This is summertime. Home is probably the most important word. Home. Strong emotions. These people are genuine. What you see is what you get. They are concerned for others, nurturing, most helpful, and tenacious. Clinging. Your name that you're on the back of your card? Issachar. We come to Leo, the lion. Here we find the heart as the most important part. Strong feelings. This is a fixed sign, fixed, stable, and a fire sign, willing to initiate action. Leos are stable, firm, dependable, regal, radiant, help to keep others in control. They are expressive, and their children are of utmost importance to them. And the name on your card? Judah. Virgo. Here we have the intestines and the solar plexus. And where we had self-will and Leo, feelings, we have now an analytical mind. Okay? Gotcha? This is a mutable sign. It can be moved. It's an earth sign. Strong practicality. These people are flexible, adaptive, practical, analytical, may be found in one form or another to be in the health field. They observe and they think with quick analytical precision. They are helpful and stable. The name on the back of that card? Zebulun. You'll hold that. Libra, the scales. This is associated with the kidneys and the liver. The kidneys are also called the reins in the Bible. Purify my reins. And it's funny that these are the purifying organs because Libra's function in the body of Israel was the care of the tabernacle, the service of the tabernacle. They ministered the scale, the things of God to the things of man, the things of man to the things of God. Libra, kidney and liver. This is a cardinal sign. They will initiate action. They're an air sign. They tend to be communicative. And this is the sign, the season of autumn. Now, all the plants that didn't come up in the spring, now a whole bouquet of other plants and life shows up. The color of autumn. The trees begin to turn their russet color. It's just a beautiful time of the year. Beauty and grace and balance. This air sign brings harmony and balance to life and relationships. Libras need that balance. When something gets out of balance, they get bothered. The name on your card? Levites. Levites. Scorpio. The scorpion. In this part of the body, we find the elimination and reproduction systems, regeneration, and a penetrating mind. We went from analytical mind to a penetrating mind. That means the ability to look through something, to hear and see a situation and go deeper to the root of what that situation is all about. It's a fixed sign. Can be stubborn. It's a water sign. Can be emotional. Here we have deep emotions, full of energy and intensity, which must be harnessed to be effective. This sign has great potential for extremes of good or evil. They can be secretive and are able to penetrate to the heart of an issue. The name on your card is Dan. Scorpio happens to be the only one that has two symbols: the scorpion and the eagle. Some of the most intense underworld people have been scorpions. Some of the most enlightened and philanthropical people have been Scorpio, but their sign is the eagle. So this sign has either way it can travel, intensely one way or the other. You got that? Okay. All right. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Sagittarius, the archer. Here we have the liver, the thighs, the lower spine, and the sciatic nerve system, and something called the higher mind. This is a mutable sign. They can be moved. This is a fire sign. They want to initiate some action. These people are adaptable. They are seeking after knowledge. They lean toward the philosophical, the idealistic, the creative, the gentle, and they become travelers. Whether you travel physically out of the country, or you travel in your mind in the world of studies. It speaks of higher education in some form, whether scholastic or whether just life circumstances. Adaptable, seeking after knowledge. Yeah. Leans towards the philosophical, idealistic, creative, a traveler. The name on your card? Asher. I'm getting close. We're almost done. Capricorn, the sea goat. Here we have the realm of hearing, the spleen, skin, teeth, bones, and knees, the skeletal system. Here, winter falls in this sign. It's cold. Everything that sprang up in that life cycle is now gone. These are a cardinal sign. They will initiate action. They're an earth sign. They can be practical. Capricorns are enterprising but practical, somewhat mysterious and deep, very conservative. Here I am. Some have a difficult time with pleasure, being so concerned with other serious aspects of life. The name on the back of your card? Naphtali. Aquarius, the water bearer. Here we find the ankles and the legs and the depth of mind. Aquarians think differently than the rest of us. I have a dear friend of mine that's a drummer slash genius slash inventor slash whatever. Sometimes talking to him is, you need another language because he's just like a computer. It just goes. This is a fixed sign. It can be stubborn. It's an air sign. Intellectual. Friends and groups. The sign is dependable. The sign of change and originality. Can be unpredictable, erratic, unusual, and an abundant thinker. The name on your card? Reuben. Pisces, the fish. Here we end the body with the feet. The feet, the blood, the bodily fluids. It's a mutable sign, movable. It's a water sign, emotional. See, Pisces, pastor's Pisces. He has problems with his feet, issues that bother him. These people are adaptive with a strong desire and drive for unity and oneness. They can be charming, inspirational, and mystical. Is that, Pastor? This is the most spiritual sign of the zodiac. Name on the card? Simeon. All right. So here's what we did. We set the constellations in order. We found the message of the stars. We found the prophetic word that witnessed to those messages. We see the man in the heavens, head, neck, shoulders, the body, the heart, the inner parts, all the way around. The man in the heavens. He said to Job, "Can you bring forth the man in the heavens?" Job knew what he meant by what was up there. He didn't know what was meant by "can you bring it forth?" Next week, we're going to bring it forth. Amen? Amen. We're done.